is Julie. Welcome to my channel. You're watching Treasures Made from Yarn, and this is part 2 of our knitting series. So part 1 was starting this scarf. I want to go back to that one to show you how I casted this on. I cast it on with a crochet hook, and it has probably become now my favorite way. We had done this basket back like this. I think it's a basket stitch or these squares. And I have garter stitch of five stitches as a garter stitch for this blanket. So now we're about to start the second pattern. This is almost similar to this one, but it's much different. So I already had started this. You probably can't see much of it. So they're pretty much going to be these little rectangles of 3. So we're going to start again with our border of 5 stitches that are knitted. So at the beginning, we're going to slip it, and we're going to slip it purlwise. And slipping purlwise is that we would put our needle in like we were going to purl like through the front, and then just slip. Oh, I should don't slide very well. Sorry. And then we just slip it off like that. That gives it, without losing any stitches, it gives us this nice edge. Right, then we're going to knit the next 4 stitches. So to knit, I put it through the front like this, like through the front to the back. Then I do it the continental way, which is I pull up a loop, and then I take it off the left-hand needle. Traditional knitting is the yarn is held in the right hand. That is not how I learned. Continental time, I hold my yarn in my left hand. So I gotta knit 3 more stitches. So we put our hook through the front to the back, and then like this is probably mainly a crochet. I just pull the loop back, bring it off. I don't even know if I can do. I don't know if it's called the English style or the other way. It's like probably about most people do it that way. But if you're a crocheter and want to knit, it might be easier to do the continental, because for crochet we already hold the yarn in this hand. So it kind of will make things maybe a little bit easier. Right, so I'm knitting more times, and that is 5 stitches for the border. But we're also going to knit the next 3. So I guess we should not only knit 5, but we're actually knitting 8 stitches. So I'm going to knit the next 3 stitches to start our pattern. And then we are going to purl the stitch. So to purl is that we put our hook here. We go from the back and go in the front like this. At this side, the yarn has to be up front too. We're having our yarn up front. So we put our hook, from the back to the front. And then we're going to have to, in this case, bring it over. Do it that way. That's how we purl. We go from back to front. For the longest time I was picking it up this way, but if you do it that way, the stitch is going to twist. So you have to go front to back. You have to take the yarn and you have to go over the top and then bring it through. That will be for another lesson, and that is like working in the back. We knit through the back loop, but we're not doing that. All right, I digress. We're going to knit the next 3 stitches. 2, 3. We purl the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. So what we're going to do now is knit the remaining stitches. So we're going to knit the 3 stitches. First 3 stitches, first 3 stitches are part of the pattern. And the remaining 5 stitches is our garter stitch border. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the garter stitch is simply you knit every row. Every row is knitted. That's the garter stitch. Learning to knit, that might be the first thing you make. You learn the knit stitch and then you make a scarf. That's all knit stitch and makes the garter stitch. So yes, we are having a garter border for our scarf. So anyway, I digress. We're going to turn. And as always, at the beginning of the row, we are going to slip the stitch purlize. That means we're going to put our needle in as the purl. And take it off. We do that so we don't twist. We don't, because if we did it knitwise, if you did it, slipped it off knitwise, it's going to twist. So now we are going to knit the next 4 stitches. That is part of our garter stitch border. And then for the pattern, we are going to now, these, if you can look at it, you can tell that you see, like, we'll call it a bump. Those are the purl end. I guess we call it the knit and purl end. If you see the bumps, the previous row was a knit stitch. This is what happens on the other side. All right, I think I digress. In the previous row, these were knit stitches, but on the other side, they look like purl stitches. So if you see the bump, those look like purl stitches from this side, and we're going to purl those 3 stitches. So we're going to purl what looks like the purl stitches. So 1, 2, sorry, our yarn's not sliding very well, 3. So these next 3, you can't, well, there were bumps below that, but see, you don't see the bump. And we want to knit those. So we're going to knit the next 3. We're going to purl the next 3 stitches. We're going to knit the next 3 stitches. We're going to purl the next 3 stitches. And then we got the remaining 5 for our garter stitch. So we would knit those because that's our border. 5. We're doing 5. This is for the border. All right. So actually, this is a 4-row repeat pattern. All right. So we are now starting our 3rd row for our 4-row repeat. So start out again, slip 1, purlwise, and then you knit the next 4 stitches. And now we're going to purl the next 3 stitches. Now we're going to knit the next 3 stitches. we're going to purl the next 3 stitches. We are going to knit the next 3 stitches. We're going to purl the next 3 stitches. We're back at our border, and then we knit the last 5. Now for our final row of our 4-row repeat. We start our row as always, slip 1, purlwise. We knit the next 4 stitches, and we're also going to knit the next 3. Then we are going to purl the next 3. Then we're going to knit the next 3. Purl the next 3. Then we're going to knit the next 3. Oh, and then we're at our 5 border, so then we're going to just knit across to the end. All right, that is our 4-row repeat of the pattern. It's almost similar to that one, but it's a little similar. I know I like my scarf patterns to look about the same on both sides, so I'm going to do multiple more rows of this so you can probably get a better look at this pattern. You can see that. It's pretty much making 3, we're just making little squares now. That's almost similar to this one. We just made a smaller square of that. So I'm going to do a few more rows and then I will get back with you. Okay, I finished. Well, I finished, but I got the next section, did a couple more rows. You can see it just makes a nice little simple little rectangle pattern. Just a simple pattern. You can actually, it works well on both sides. So usually that's why if I want to make, usually when I make scarves, I like it to look the same on both sides. It doesn't have to, but I prefer to have it look similar on both sides for scarf projects. So just a heads up, I'm getting close to finishing up blue. So my plan at this point for this scarf is just to do the garter stitch, which is all knit across until I got to the pink here. But if you were making a scarf, if you wanted to end it off, you would just do 5 rows of garter stitch. So, but I wanted to at least show you how to cast off. We were done with our project and it's time to cast off. Kind of showed a little bit, but I just made a sample, a little square here just to show you how to cast off. And you can see this is what the garter stitch will look like. If you're very much a beginner and just learn to knit stitch, garter stitch can look just as nice, especially as a scarf, and it does look the same on both sides. So anyway, it's time to cast like before. I'm going to bring in a little more there. First, you would start the first stitch like the other one. We would just slip it. Then the next stitch we would knit as usual, and then you have 2 stitches on our right hand. You have to do, might be a little challenging to learn this, but you'd have to put the the needle in the first stitch and bring the other one over like that. Then you knit the next stitch, and with this other your needle in your left hand, you pull like that, and you do that across until you have one left. I find it slightly challenging, but there we are. Just do that across. You pull this over. Yeah. I know there are multiple ways of casting off, so I'm going to stop at this point because I might show another way, and that is, let's see, oh, I got one hand here. Crochet hook. Well, crochet hook doesn't always fit that well, but it makes it easier. You can get the crochet hook, to fit underneath and knit like you would with the crochet hook. And that's why you just take the hook and bring it through like that. You knit that off with the hook and pull the hook through. That'll work. Yeah, usually I pull a crochet hook because it makes it a little easier to do that. If you're by chance learning to knit, you would want to invest in a crochet hook. Because if you ever to drop stitches, which might be a future video, very handy to have. You would want a crochet hook. So yeah, sometimes I'll use a crochet hook to cast off. So with the hook, I would knit with the hook, going through, pull up a loop, pull that through. Now if you are do this, I'm trying to think if that would still work if you had the yarn in the other hand, but I don't see why it wouldn't still work. Yeah. To me, it was much easier to use the crochet hook than it is. Plus, you gotta be careful not to get too small for a crochet hook, but yeah. I probably should have picked crochet hook. That might have been. I've also, to make it stretchier, I sometimes will just do a single crochet, but I already started doing this way. Well, you say if you had the, you would have to put, so this hook, this loop has to go over that one, so that's why I use a crochet hook, because it makes it much easier. So yeah, crochet hook to, if you see my last video, first knitting video, crochet hook to cast on. And then we're using the crochet hook to cast off. That's it. And then you would cut this off. So yeah, but this method, it doesn't stretch as much as in, hey, this. Well, I use the crochet hook to cast on for this too, and it's stretchier at the bottom than it is at the top. Now we'll just sew those in. Okay, just had a thought. Okay, I digress. So I just wanted to show you how to cast off. So my next one, I will do a different stitch. I'm gonna off camera garter stitch another, probably at least four to 5 rows, or until I get to the pink, and I'm gonna work with pink next. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did like it, please get a like. Want to see more content like this, please subscribe to my channel. I want to thank you always for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye now.